Hello and welcome to the first giveaway on the RC Car Mods YouTube channel. Here with RC Ninja. How you doing, moddies out there? Hope you've all been going well. Hope the weather's been great and you've been out driving your RCs. I recently saw a Hemistorm YouTube video where he went through all of the stuff he has in his garage, how he's got it all set up, and just a look at his basic stockpiles. Now, he's got hundreds of parts. He's got about 10 cars, all extremely modified. I don't have quite as much, but I thought you'd be interested to see what I've got and what I've gathered over the last couple of years. Now, I gave it away when I was quite young, got into other stuff, real cars, women, but I've now been back in it for a while now, and I found that drifting is where I want to be. I love it, the sport is great, it's really cool, you get to modify your cars heaply, and after all, it's all about style, so you can get your styling car mods on there and do your details and all that fantastic stuff. More on the competition a little bit later, but if you just want to quickly subscribe now, that's how you're going to enter and that's how you're going to win. I'll tell you what you can win a little bit later, but first let's have a look at what I've got. So here is my 50-50. Now it's called a 50-50 because all wheels go four-wheel drive and it all works at the same time. I have recently set this up for drifting with a locked back diff in here. You can see that on the other videos of mine. It's still fairly standard. It's got the drift tyres on it, as you can see. Custom orange, nice and cool. I've recently gone and put a new radiator at the front, which is really cool, very cheap, stylish upgrade. But this is my 50-50. It's been great for me recently. I love driving it. It's a bit of a basher. This is the shell that I have for it. So I got this shell as a second shell. It came with the Subaru shell, which is under there. I'll show you that. But this is one that I've kind of just had a bit of a go at modifying it. You know, I've done things like put the bonnet scoop on it. This is an old lid off just a plastic container that I've painted silver and looks pretty cool on there. You know, the front, you can see the bashing that's going on there. I kind of like that style, and I've also cut it out so when it sits on the frame you can see that you can see the radiator through it, which is pretty cool. This one was kind of something that I just had a go at. I've put some lights in there, so it's got some colour lights. You know, it's got the chrome exhaust on it. The light actually goes into the exhaust there, which looks really, really cool. And as you can see, the light buckets are in there. This one, as you'll see, some of the things on my shell here, like this bonnet scoop and this rear spoiler on here. What I've actually done is I've taken them off the original Subaru, so like I've said before, never really fear to cut and paste and, you know, give things a go on your RC cars. It's quite simple and it turns out to look really cool. I guess if we have a look at, that's my new shell, we'll get to that one later, but if we have a look at my old Subaru car here, you'll see that's where I got my bonnet scoop on. I actually used it to test and look what the supercharger or the turbo would look like in that. This one's got really, really hammered, and that's where I've taken the rear spoiler off the back in there. So you can see it's just a standard old one. It's had some strengthening put on it because I've really bashed it. Bit of fly screen, that's a tip for you. You know, use a bit of fly screen. I've done that on the windows of my micro before, so you've all seen how that works, but that's pretty cool, gives a pretty awesome effect on there. But what I did is I thought, well, I'll use that and I'll make some mods to this car here, this shell here, and it's all turned out pretty nice and sweet. I'll put it on and let you guys have a look. Okay, so something for the real drifters out there, the guys who are running all this counter steer setup at the moment. You see this one runs with a belt rather than the shaft driven on the other one. Belt gives you a little bit more tunage, I guess. You can tune it up considerably more using these belts and these different pulleys and the size of your gears on here. This one was actually a Sakura Zero, which is a 50/50 touring car, but because it's got the belts and the different gears on it, I can actually change that and make it counter steer. So what it's actually done is it's now set up as a 1.3 counter steer. Guys, you know what that means. But I actually had to modify this one. Now, what I really love about cars is you can just, you know, mod them and do things that make it work. Now, this rear belt here is set for a bigger pulley like this one. So the belt on it actually is very, very loose. So what I've had to do is I've had to put in my own tensioner here, which is just made out of a standard pulley and bearing gear. It's used a screw, and I've just sunk that in there, as you can see here, and that will just tension it down. So the belt now runs and you don't get the slippage on there that it was getting before. Really cool. Hey, you just get to modify things your own self. All the moddies out there will know what I'm talking about. It's really great to get in there, sit in front of some inspiration videos. Very important part. Get some inspiration up on your screen so you can you know, get your creativity on, and you can get out there and get all your custom done. This has a front one way, so what that means is this will spin even when the car's stopped, and obviously driving slower means you get more grip when you're drifting. So go and have a look at counter steer on YouTube, guys. I may post something a little bit later with regards to that, but that's my new Sakura Zero. Now, I didn't buy it brand new. You can get some quite expensive ones out there, you know, $600, $700 for just the chassis, but I just bought a second-hand one that a guy had showed me, and it all looked fairly solid. It's got a few upgrades on it, but the advantage is that with these car mods, if you buy a second-hand one, you can kind of modify it yourself and not be worried that you're messing with $700. This one was about $150, so it works quite well there. Again, bought some second-hand censored motors on it. The old Hobby Wing ESC on there, and a Savox servo, which is really cool. It all works really, really well. The censored is the way to go. It gives you a little bit more throttle control. It's nice and smooth on your throttle. So that's my Sakura Zero. I love this blue paint. I'll have a look and tell you what colour paint that is. The nice white trims around it all the way. Here I've actually tried for the first time some of this masking paint. You see it there. It's this Mascol by Humbrol. Look, worked okay. It's pretty cool. What I did is I just painted, so I just drew on the outside these lines on the sheet that tears off, and then from the inside I just painted some of that plastic overspray paint onto it. Did some cool little, you know, details on there. Nothing like what I've seen on Hemistorm. Again, hey buddy, thanks for the idea. But look, it turned out really, really cool. I'm going to try and use it a little bit more. I think the more you use it, the better you get to it. It's got some decals on it. You know, the standard ones. A good Yokomo body shell of the Sylvia here. Comes with heaps of decals. I chose to just use a couple rather than use it all. I don't know if you can see that one. But look, turned out really, really cool. Again, with some of the spray on there. Did a bit of a sunshine or something like that. Really cool. Got the exhaust on it, you know. And this is really a bit of a work in project. It's something that I can just continue to upgrade. You know, I take parts from other shells that I've got, buy new parts. I think it comes with it's got here a little scoop for the front there. It's got another one for the bonnet scoop in there. You know, there's heaps of stuff you can get on board and you can buy. You know, you can order them online. Your local hobby stop's probably got them. They're not expensive, you know, about $5 for these really cool add-ons and things like that. Again, I take my inspiration from what I see, and just, you know, generally can try and replicate that kind of stuff, take cool bits, and look, that's what RC Car Mods is all about. So again, again, subscribe for your chance to win, and we'll talk about, well, I guess we can talk about that now. So what I have here is my little toolbox. Fits an RC 1/10 scale, very cool. Got my charger in there, you know, some spare batteries, heaps of spare batteries for run time. Got this little cool, just drilled some holes in there and put some screws in there that can sit my wheels on there. These 2.2s, speed lines, really cool. Need some tape on there to sort them out, but they're really, really cool. You know, you can put your tools in there, you just set it up from all the tools that you have throughout the trade. You know, I don't usually take my soldering iron with me, a nice little gas one in there, but that's something you must have. I've got these other little toolboxes in there with all my kind of tools in there. Tape, always need the tape, the pliers, the scissors, your wheel screw, you know, all that kind of stuff. Lucky bands, heat sink. I won't go through that too much. It's basically something that everyone should have. Sharpie pens in there, I can see, which is very handy. But what you can do is when you're going out to a race meet or a comp meet or just going drifting yourself, you can take yourself this little handy box here, and I'll show you that the shell, the 1/10 scale fits in there very nicely. Look at that. So you see the 1/10 scale fits in there very nicely. This one on top. Very, very cool. Put all your tools in there. You know, sometimes there's things that you really need out there. You know, your hex screwdriver if you've got hex screws, spare wheels, spare batteries, your charger. You can put all your little extra stuff in here. So I got my knife in there, some extra clips, some extra bolts, you know, things like that. Some glue, heatsink glue, extra gears or extra pulleys, bands, bando bands, nice bando bands in there, bit of stuff, you know, and you can really just fill it up with whatever you've got here at home that you think you might need, and you can put it into this carry box and it comes very nicely. Now I have one of these controllers, and what I've actually done is I put a little clip on the side, which is very cool. So now that sits on the side and you're ready to go. But back to the competition. So one of the competition prizes that I will allow you to choose here is a portable battery. Now my battery charger has these clips. Now normally used to clip onto a car battery, but you run the risk of your car battery running flat. So what I've actually got here, and what you have the chance to win, is it's an old golf cart battery. Positives, negatives, you know, and you clip your battery up to that and it would charge about 4 or 5 lipos. So very cool. 20 amps per hour, nice and strong. Normally powers a golf cart. Thanks, Dad owns a golf cart store and has given me access to a lot of these batteries, and also a charger in here so you can charge your, this is brand new, you get a brand new one, but it's just a standard charger, so it's a 2-stage charger for these batteries, and that could be your chance to win. So if you haven't done it already in the video, click the subscribe button, because that's how you're going to enter to win one of these prizes. This is the first prize. So I have a small number of paints as well. Always need paints when you're hobbying. You know, I've got the standard, the whites, the pearls, the silvers up the top here. I've got a silver smoke and a normal smoke. I guess you call it normal smoke. You use it a lot for window tinting and things like that. It's very cool. The blacks. This is the blue that's on my new shell here. It is called dark metallic blue. Fairly explanatory. It's PS paint. You have to make sure you get PS paints, as they're for plastic, so they don't come off when you crash into things, and they flex a little bit more on the Lexan. But that's my small paint collection, always adding more. When I go in there, I normally buy the colours I want to paint my cars, and then I buy an extra white or an extra black, or, you know, some more smoke or something that you just use all the time. And then hopefully you get a little bit of leftover like I have for that blue, and then I can custom paint some blue blue things, some blue specs moving forward, and we'll be rad. So finally with the setup, I've got 3 cars, as you know, the Micro, this one, the Lozzie Micro, my standard HSP, you know, bit of the cheaper side one. This is an LRP, upgraded remote for that one. I've custom paint this one, which is pretty cool. Normally just comes in black, fairly simple to undo and custom paint. And then I also have this Fly Sky. This is the new one for my counter steer, the last RC I showed you. Really cool, actually. It's only about $100 or $80. Does it all, you know. It's got the proper light up screen on it, heaps of different settings and tunings, and just looks really cool in the hand. A lot of the guys are running with this at the moment. There is the Fatuba ones and, you know, the real expensive ones as well, but hey, this is RC Car Mods, and what we're trying to do is we're just trying to keep things on the cheap but make us all look cool. So match the guys there, it comes in the box, you know. That's something fantastic. But now the final other option, so battery option 1. The next option is, for those who subscribe, is I'm giving away a LiPo balanced charger by IMAX. Now, if you're not running LiPos at the moment, I've recommended it in some of my other videos, but get onto the LiPo batteries. They are so much better than the old school ones, much stronger, more runtime, everything like that. This will actually charge your other batteries as well, but the LiPo is the one that you want to go with. The 1 to 6 cells, God, I don't know many people who have a 6-cell LiPo. Normally for drifting, for those guys out there drifting, it's a 7.4 volt 2-cell. For those guys who are running the electric Badgers and, you know, those kind of off-road stuff, they might use an 11-cell, or the touring cars use an 11 volt 3-cell battery. But what we've got here, now you get to choose, so you can either choose the battery pack, or you can choose yourself a nice little charger here, which is just great. Does the job for you. Now, if you haven't used it, don't be afraid to subscribe. What I will do is I will talk you through how they work and how you use it. Fairly simple. You plug the balancer in, you plug the charger in, you set it to whatever it is, so 7.4 volts, 500 milliamp or 5000 milliamps. You click it and then it balances it and charges it, and, you know, if it gets to overcharging, it'll take some out and recharge it in there, so your batteries are nice and solid. So that's option number 2. You guys can choose, but you must subscribe now to get into it. So there you go, guys. Look, that's what I call my shopping haul. I think that's what it's known as on YouTube. Thanks to Hemistorm for the idea. That's brilliant. The competition, get involved, get subscribed. That's how you're going to win. Look, I'll cover the postage and you get to choose whichever one you want. I'll tell you how to run them. I'll tell you how they work and everything like that. A really good giveaway here, valued at over $100 for both of them. Look, get subscribed and get in the chance to win. Alternatively, those guys who have subscribed already, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and you will get 2 chances to win in this competition, so I'll put your name in twice. And look, hopefully we can set up a phone call with the winner. We can either Skype and put it on the screen here, or, you know, just do something really cool as I get the lucky winner their prize. See you around next time. RC Ninja out.